It started as a casual weekend visit to my lake, a place I had nurtured for decades, when I noticed something shocking. Construction crews, bulldozers, and an array of resort buildings rising on my shoreline. Karen and her HOA had apparently decided that my property, my lake, and my access rights were irrelevant. They had built a full-scale luxury resort without my permission, assuming that by the time I noticed, the project would be too far along to stop. The audacity was staggering. But I didn't panic. I had anticipated situations like this, and I knew exactly how to turn their greed against them. I began by meticulously documenting the development. Drone footage captured every structure, every dock, and every access road they had built across my lakefront. Surveyors were called to verify property lines, showing with precise detail that every inch of the resort was on my land. Karen and her board had acted as if they owned the place, but in reality, they had trespassed on property that had been in my family for generations. I smiled, realizing that their massive investment had unwittingly created a legal jackpot for me. Once the documentation was complete, I contacted my attorney and launched a plan that turned the tables completely. Using the property deeds, surveys, and county records, I moved to assert full legal ownership over the resort. Every structure, dock, and landscaped area fell squarely within my property lines, meaning that, despite their investment and occupancy, Karen's HOA had no legal rights to operate the resort. Essentially, they had built a $2 billion property on land that was already mine. I didn't stop there. I arranged for the immediate sale of the entire resort to a private investment firm, one that recognized the full legal weight of my ownership. In record time, the deal was finalized, generating billions in revenue. Karen's board, who had assumed they could profit from my lake, suddenly found themselves completely powerless. Every resident, every guest, every employee on the property was subject to the new ownership, and they were given strict notices: vacate immediately or face legal consequences. The irony was delicious. The very people who had tried to claim my lake were now being evicted by the rightful owner. The HOA's attempts to contest the sale were met with immediate legal obstacles. Courts reviewed the deeds, property surveys, and construction timelines, confirming that Karen and her board had acted without authority. Every claim of ownership or entitlement they made was dismissed, and the eviction notices were upheld in full. The residents and staff, who had once enjoyed luxury accommodations on my property, were now forced to relocate, while the HOA faced massive financial and reputational loss. By the time the dust settled, the lake was quiet once again. The resort, now sold, belonged entirely to me, and the billions generated from the transaction were a testament to foresight, preparation, and patience. Karen's audacity had turned into her downfall. In trying to build on my land, she had created an opportunity that she could neither exploit nor reverse. As I walked along the lake's edge, the water glinting in the afternoon sun, I reflected on the lesson. Greed and overreach never outweigh preparation and legal knowledge. Karen and her board had tried to claim what was not theirs, and in doing so, they had built their own defeat. The lake, the property, and the profits were mine, and anyone who thought they could challenge that now knew exactly what it meant to trespass on land owned by someone who not only knows the law but uses it with precision.